Ooh, what's up guys, how's it going? Today we're talking about the perk, Iron Grasp. Your powerful hold on the survivors causes escapes to be nearly impossible. Bullshit. Effects of survivors struggling are reduced by 75%. Time to struggle out of the grasp is increased by 12%. So, is this perk good? No. Overall, this is again another one of those perks that gets combined with Insidious and Agitation, turning it into a basement build. It really only gets used on Bubba, and you do see it at the really low ranks where the people are just starting, or they're really bad at the game because they don't know where hook spawns are. They can't find where they are. This is a perk that kind of allows you to play around the survivor sabotaging hooks in your face so you can get to another hook. Overall, I think Agitation would probably be a better perk for that reason. It allows you to move faster and increases your terror radius. But Iron Grasp is one of those perks that get combined with Insidious and Agitation to become into a Basement Bubba build, which we just talked about in the last video of Insidious. Overall, this perk is another one of those kind of perks I think need to get changed. So, again, it's another one of those rework perks. Honestly, I think it shouldn't have a it just takes longer. I think this is going to be a weird change to it. Killer's having a skill check. So, what it should read: your powerful hold on survivors causes escapes to be nearly impossible. When the killer would become stunned, period, with a survivor on their shoulder, the killer makes a difficult skill check, same as Decisive Strike. If the killer succeeds the skill check, the survivor does not drop out of the killer's arms. Instead, the wiggle bar is reduced from wherever it is by 50%. This makes it so that pallet stuns, you run a Iron Grasp counters the pallet stun shenanigans. If you flash, it counters flashlights a little bit better than Lightborn. It becomes more better than Lightborn, but it becomes more of a universal keep them in your shoulder thing. If they would wiggle out, if you succeed, you both would stop, and if you succeed the skill check, instead of getting out of your shoulder, it reduces the wiggle time to 50 instead of breaking out. I feel like bringing in a perk to counter that is fine. You're using one of your perk slots to keep survivors from getting you out through other ways is okay. Survivors kind of have the same thing with their perks. Hell, their add-ons, some of their items like flashlights, just flat out counter killers. Wraith, Hag, Artist, Killer, Spirit. You can't phase while blinded. I feel like that rework to Iron Grasp would make it better, make it a little bit more healthier. It'd still do about the same thing as it does now with getting it to the basement. Kind of. With Agitation, you might still make it to the basement. So the people who like the Basement Bubba build would still be able to use Iron Grasp for that aspect. But it also helps you with the stuns from other survivors. Might be too powerful. Maybe not by 50%, maybe by 25%, but still giving you the ability, if a survivor breaks the hook in front of you, you still have the ability to get to another hook. because right now the game's based on an aspect of what's the word? Momentum. The killer needs momentum. If just one survivor stops a killer from making a hook, either breaking the hook, flashlight blinding them, pallet stunning them, it turns any momentum that they would obtain from that into nothing. Now they have to get into they have to drop the survivor, it's going to take time, get back into a chase with the survivor who stunned them, it's going to take time, chase them, injure them, chase them, down them, find another hook. By this time, gens are going to be completed. Gens are going to pretty much just be done, unless the survivor is just really bad. It's bringing in a perk to counter an item, I think is fine. Part of your perk, you're sacrificing gen protection or chase ability to stop survivors from being able to really nerf your momentum. This would also work with Decisive Strike. So, survivor goes, hits their skill check. They hit their skill check, and it gives you a skill check. You succeed your skill check, and it negates Decisive Strike. Yes, it doesn't negate Decisive Strike. Maybe if they don't have any progression in the wiggle bar, instead of getting them out, it increases the bar by 50%. So if they do get a pallet stun or a flashlight blind or a Decisive Strike, yeah, I think actually that might be a bit better. See, just working it out through this is just ideas I'm going through pretty much while I'm making the video. So maybe when you would become stunned, if the survivor at 0 progression, if the survivor gets stunned out of your arms while you're at 0 progression, instead of getting out of your arms, the wiggle bar gets jumped up to 50, which still gives the survivors the ability to break the pallet in your face. They get not the pallet, break the hook in your face, but that's a different thing. And if they wiggle out from it going to 100, it gets dropped to 50. I think the aspect of just increasing the duration is just kind of dull, and it does promote the only playstyle Iron Grass is Insidious and Agitation really get. Agitation with the introduction Starstruck did give Agitation an extra ability to actually be meta, kind of, because they both work when you pick up a survivor, put them on your shoulder, increases your tear radius, size and your tear radius get exposed. So yeah, that's my idea. That's the idea I've formed while making this video. It's gonna be a long video because I've had an idea when I started the video, and it changed throughout the video. So at the end, what Iron Grass should be changed to: if the killer is stunned while holding a survivor, if the wiggle meter is at 0%, the wiggle meter gets increased to 50% instead of them dropping the survivor. If the survivor escapes the killer's grasp due to wiggling out at 100%, the killer is faced with a great skill check. On a success, the survivor is not released, and instead, the progression bar is reduced by 50%. So, flashlight blinds, pallet stuns, flashlight blinds, pallet stuns, DS aren't immediately countered, but it does increase the wiggle bar by a lot. This aspect allows there would be a yes. It means killers can tunnel a bit easier, but especially with I assume the devs are going to end up being as they talked about in a video they posted recently, changing the killer perks that actually allow them not to camp and tunnel. That it's going to become more of a camping and tunneling meta even more than it already is. Because not all killers want to try their ass off going for multiple chases, going for multiple hooks to not get anyone and being told you lost. So, this perk is a generic perk, so it does give the ability to this is just a perk that you get, so there's no getting the killer to get it. So Iron Grasp overall does need I feel like needs a rework. I think the idea I've obviously obtained through the video is a decent idea. If you guys have any ideas on what Iron Grasp should be changed to, let me know. If you think it should change, stay the same, let me know. And I'll see you in the next one.